Okay. It looks like we are live. How is everyone doing today? Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Jason Levine. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Coming to you live on Premiere Pro Facebook, Twitter Periscope, and YouTube. And for today's live stream, this will be a continuation of the live stream from Monday, where we were talking about custom batch ingest, custom metadata, leveraging Prelude CC. So this is part 2, and today, as promised, we're going to talk about using different types of markers. So subclip markers, comment markers, and then the awesome and visual tag panel, which really just lets you mark up all of your content really quickly, even with keyboard shortcuts. So a couple quick shouts out here. Okay, we've got Marianne from London, UK. Desiree from Sweden, how are you? Reef Patrol from Germany. Eric from the Netherlands. Colin Blake. Oh, Colin, thank you very much. As I often say, Colin, it's, just like in Harry Potter, where the wand chooses the wizard, the microphone chooses the voiceover artist. So you got to find the one that really works best for your voice. But thank you. I have done that through years and years and years of trial and error. This is my favorite mic of choice. And great to see all the comments coming through here today via Facebook, although everything is delayed. So I'm hoping this is streaming properly. Hello, Rogelio, Mohammed, Marco Dongo, Soren, Stan Arthur, David Presenter. Great to see you. Okay, I honestly, I don't know why Facebook the last few days for me is very laggy and slow, but gosh, I don't know. So if you can, the comments aren't coming in real time here. Tell me if you're viewing it properly. I'm seeing view counts go down, so it must be laggy and it's refreshing. I don't know what's going on there. Okay. Donald Ping, how are you? 2 for 2. Still in Princeton. All right, awesome. Okay, got some friends from Brazil. Thank you, Stan Arthur. Thank you for letting me know. Leo, hello. Henrik, hello. All right, great. All right, well, I'm not going to worry about the lagginess that appears. Let's go ahead and switch over. Okay, so I added some additional content to the project that we were working on the other day. You'll recall that we added this was some stock content of mine that I shot quite a few years ago in Finland. You can find some of these clips actually up on my Adobe stock catalog, as a matter of fact. So it's like a lot of cool, it's like a motorcycle workshop, so a lot of cool sort of machine parts and rack focus depth of field things. And then I added some random vinyl stuff that I had shot, just video of vinyl. Some of this as well is also on my Adobe stock portfolio. And then just to augment the project, I added a bunch of different clips. I had started a documentary, a mini short documentary a couple years ago on gaming systems of specifically it was like 1980, 81. And so this is this 1/12 scale Galaxian that I still have from when I was a kid. And anyway, I shot this and I did some stuff with Pac-Man. So that's what this footage is. Okay, so we're going to get right into markers. And we're going to sort of mark up this content, ultimately to build another rough cut in here, and then send that over to Premiere Pro with our selects, which we can then use a little bit of cool Pancake timelining to kind of drag those selects into a new project, a new timeline. And if you haven't heard of Pancake timeline, you'll see it in a couple moments. I highly recommend checking out my good friend Vashi Nedamansky's blog, or just check out Vashi Visuals on Twitter. I don't know if I believe he's the originator of the Pancake timeline. Certainly the first person who ever hipped me to that concept. If not, he's definitely one of the first. But he's an amazing dude and explains all kinds of great things and has tons of free presets and all kinds of things on his blog. And you'll definitely want to check Vashi out. Okay, so here we've got my my raw content here. Okay, and as I scrub through this kind of gives me an idea of what this shot looks like. So for something like this, again, I've already brought the whole clip into Prelude so that I can review and begin making my selects. As we discussed on Monday, you can also do this at the start in the ingest phase, right, up here at the top. So when you ingest, if you decide that you want to use the interface here to hover scrub, click inside of your clips, set your in and out points, and then do partial ingest for your selects, you can do that there as well. Now, a partial ingest requires a transcode, which means that you'd go from your original file format, whatever type of codec was used, into something else like a ProRes, GoPro Cineform, DNxHR, whatever you desire. In the case of this content here, I just brought in all the clips. I didn't move anything, just brought them in from their current location and in their full duration so that I can use subclip markers to make my selects. So as I play through this, again, all of your standard transport controls apply in Prelude, nothing new here. What I'm simply going to do is find the bit that I want to use for this, and this is just a nice little rack focus with some nice reflection on my Galaxian here. And you'll notice, oh, actually you can't see that because my head is over top of it. Let's dock it over here. There we go. In your marker type panel, quite why we need a marker type panel for two marker types, I don't know. We used to reveal more of them in here, actually. There's the flash. We took those out because they're not really applicable in this particular workflow anymore. But you have subclip and comment markers. I'm going to put this back down over here as it was. Okay, so I'm going to use you can use shortcut key 1, shortcut key 2 for comment to add these, or I can simply just click on it right here from this panel. Again, I've now placed that back behind my video, and it adds the subclip marker. And then inside of the marker panel at the top right here, this will now show you the name of it, so we can give it a proper name, and we'll call this Galaxian Close. We can also add a description here, rack focus on joystick and fire text, and we can also adjust the in and outs. Now I can do this by scrubbing through, so if I were to play this from here, that's about as much as the shot that I want. I can simply click into my out value here, type in the value there, or I can also, as an alternative, just to kind of show you multiple ways to do things, I can also just take the edge of this, of the marker itself, and snap it to my current time indicator. Lots of different ways to create that subclip. But now I've subclipped just this very specific section. Now, for instance, if I wanted another one where I'm kind of racking out, maybe we'll set another subclip here. Okay. And we'll play this through. All right, get some nice bokeh back there, some beautiful blur. I believe this was shot with the Nikon 24-70 f2.8. All right, and once again, take the edge of the subclip marker here and just drag it. All right. So now I've got two subclips. Let's give this one a name. All right, so we'll go rack focus out to blur. Again, these are just little descriptions for me. Okay. All good. You get the idea. All right. So now we've got two subclips on this clip. Let's do just a couple more. Now, some of these I might actually have subclips already created. So we'll have to see. If we take a look here. Yeah, so in this particular clip, you can see I've already got some subclips and some comment markers. Now you might ask, why use different types of markers, subclip or comment? Well, the nice thing about the subclip markers is that subclip markers, specifically in Prelude, you can filter them. So ultimately, the subclip is what can be added directly to a rough cut. If you don't, so in other words, if I were to say, show me subclips only, let's just go into the list view here. This is now showing me all the subclips that I've made across all of my various pieces of content here. So from these, I could make a new rough cut, and it will make the rough cut only with those subclipped sections. In other words, my best, my selects, okay? A comment marker is just that. It has a timecode duration. It has text, all of which can be searchable. But if I were to add that clip to a rough cut, it's going to add the whole clip, not the duration of that comment marker. That's essentially the difference in this case, or how you might leverage them differently here in Prelude. So it's really up to you. You also have the ability, as you saw, to add a description, i.e. comments. It just depends on where this actually lives inside of the metadata itself. For all intents and purposes, really, you can use the subclip marker. And if you're just looking to use the comment marker just to add commentary, that's why you would do that, right? If you're not looking to, if it's not related to the select itself or a specific piece that you want to import into your timeline. Okay, so this one already has a couple of them, so I'm not going to redo them here, but you can see we've got some nice little tight racks. Funny that I got 420 on my score there. Obviously not a gamer. Now these are a little long, so I might even might shorten this up a little bit. Also, this is super handheld, so it's very shaky. Honestly, don't like that at all. It's really, really shaky. Okay, let's go back to our view here. Let's see what we got in this one. Okay, so now you can see there's the full Galaxian. All of this handheld. So here's a little bit. You can see perspective up, zoom to blur. Okay, so I kind of zoom in and then blur it out. Nice. All right. There's another one. Actually, I prefer that one. Not bad. I love how you can also see, again, this is just naturally lit. Obviously, this is looking a little pixelated over the stream here, but you can see like the dirt, just the dirt and dust over time. I think this was purchased in 81 or 82, and I shot this back in 2012 or something. So yeah, only 30 years later, whatever, still works. Made by Coleco. Okay. Let's go to some of these others here. I think this one doesn't have any marker in it at all. So this is just a nice, again, kind of a static B-roll cutaway. So maybe we'll do a little subclip right here. Okay. And let's adjust the end. Make it about 3 seconds. That's plenty. Okay. Want to give it a name, we can do so. Galaxian label. Nice static shot. Blurred background. Bokeh. Now again, all the text that I'm adding in these fields can then be used to search on. So that's sort of the key here, is that if we're looking for clips in Premiere after the fact, it's going to make it a lot easier. Case in point, let me just go back to Premiere for a second. If you recall from the other day, all those machine parts, that was done at a workshop in Finland. So I tagged all of those Finland. So I've got all this content in here. If I'm really quickly looking for all of my things where I did some custom metadata, looking on Finland, type in Finland, now I'm seeing all of those clips. Okay, these are all the clips that we captured for that. Similarly, remember we had the turntable shots, right? All these sort of beauty shots of my turntable here. Type in just turn, and it finds all of the turntable clips that were tagged as such. All right. So all of that metadata becomes something that you can search on in Premiere as just an easier, faster way to find it. I hadn't tagged any of these best yet, or maybe I did one of them. Yeah, this one clip has a best. You can actually see it here in the timeline. This Arizona rainbow clip, because I've got a marker in there with the metadata best. When I search on that, this clip is coming up. All right. So it makes it really easy and really efficient to leverage this custom metadata and this custom tagging to find your content. I'm someone who seldom doesn't, I don't always do the batch rename thing. A lot of times I just leave them as is, and I'm just kind of looking at file names, and it's a drag, right? So all of this custom metadata really helps when stuff becomes searchable. It's just easier to navigate, and it just makes the process that much better. All right, maybe we'll do one more here before we get to the tag panel. So this one's got it as well again. So let's see, we've got the studio window shot. I don't particularly like that. Here, this one here. Okay. Kind of nice, a little shot nice shot from above, you can see that once again my my blurred score is visible there. Okay, cool. All right, so that's subclipping and commenting. Now, outside of that, once I've got my subclips, once I've got my selects, maybe from there I want to add additional bits of metadata. Maybe there's other things that I want to add and tag as such about these clips. So this is where we're going to talk about using the beautiful custom tag panel, which you see docked up here in the top right. If you don't see it, it's not open by default. You can find it under the window menu under tags. And what this does is just that. It allows you to visually, in real time, mark up your content, and you can determine exactly, well, the color scheme, but also what types of metadata you're adding in there. So you can see I've got good, bad, false start, best, rack, and out of focus. All right. Now this is a preset that I made, and I've got a couple of different presets. This is one that I used for a live stream a while back. Here's another one, 3 simple buttons, different shapes. Here's another one with different keyboard shortcuts. Good, reject, partial, need sound, need CC. All right, so how do we make these? So first and foremost, think about what do you want to tag? What are you trying to do? So you just think of the terminology that you want to use here. We're going to be able to leverage this by making a new tag template. So let's do that. I'm going to click on the plus sign that you see at the bottom right here for our tag template. All right, hold on, I'm trying to scroll more of my comments in Facebook. It's so slow. And let's call this Galaxian. All right, you can see it's creating JSON files. Okay, and when you do that, it pulls up this grid view. All right, now this is where you can determine how many tag buttons you need. Now, the default here, the grid size is 6 by 5. That's 30 tags. That may not be a lot for some. That's way too many for me, for my purposes. I need about, 5 or 6. I always like to do sort of good, bad, best. I love tagging my things best. Rack, I do a lot of rack focus in these things. Out of focus, sometimes you have a clip that you love, but it's a soft focus or whatever, or it needs sound, or it needs a color correction or some kind of stabilization. Not a bad idea to just stick that in there. Needs stabilization. Rather than typing that on all your selects, you can create a tag for it. So let's do that. So first of all, let's adjust the grid here, and let's do a 3 by 2. Oh, not a 32. By the way, you see that it just made 32 by 5. We don't need that. Let's do 3 by 2. Or 2 by 3. Looks a little better. Doesn't really matter. It's going to it'll reflow once it gets into the tag panel anyway. And then you can determine the tag dimension. So do you want square? Do you want horizontal that effectively occupies 2 squares? You can have a vertical 2-square version or a 4-square version. So again, based on the size of the button that you're making, you can accordingly adjust the number of columns. So if the buttons are going to be that big, maybe you need 4 rows, okay? Something like that. Or in this case, here, maybe we'll do 4 by 4. Okay, if you want just bigger buttons. And maybe we'll do 4 big buttons here, okay? So the first one, let's readjust the color. Okay, it's vibrant green. Tag name, this is going to be good. Description, keep or take. Shortcut, now you can give it a shortcut key. I can type 1, 2, 3, etc. Or I can customize here. Let's do like Command 1, whatever you want to use. These shortcuts will be applied when that panel is in focus and the content timeline is also in focus. All right. Duration. So this is how long it will apply that tag for over top of your clip. We actually just did a little social post on time-based markers. A lot of people just assume the marker was just that one static moment in time. But no, you can actually adjust, just like you saw me adjusting with the subclips a moment ago. You can give a duration in frames for each of those markers. So for good, I don't need it to go across the entire clip necessarily, but I usually will do something like maybe 12 frames for that, just so that it's really obvious and easy to see. All right? Good. Very good. Okay. Let's go to the next one. And we'll do the same. We'll do a nice big button for that. Red. Give it a name, and we'll call this reject. All right? Ditch this clip. Shortcut. We'll do Command 2 for that. Duration 12 frames. That's fine. Color is good. Okay. Now come down here. Now maybe we want 4 more little tags in this section here. So I'll use this one. Okay. And we'll call this tag stabilize. That's probably not going to work very well text-wise. Oh, no, it fit in there. Okay. Description needs warp stabilizer applied. Okay. This is something which I generally, again, as I'm reviewing content, all this stuff is handheld. So maybe it needs stabilization. Maybe it doesn't. All right. I like to mark these things up. 12 frames, that's fine. Again, entirely up to you. Let's just give it a different duration for the heck of it. I'll give this one 6. Actually, no, let's do more. Let's do 18 frames for stabilize, and we'll change the color. Stabilization will be this kind of cool purplish color. All right, and let's do another one. Move over. Maybe for this one, let's do a horizontal for this, and this will be no stabilize. And this will say does not require stabilization. Shortcut, Command 4. I love that it shows you what the shortcut is in the tag itself, so you can never forget. Come over here. Let's go into a blue. That looks good. All right. And now we can get creative with how we stack these. So let's do one more horizontal. And this one can be soft focus. Okay. Good take, but focus is a bit soft. Shortcut, we'll do number 5 for this. Oh, sorry, I did number 4, and notice it's telling me, oh, you've got 2 of the same here. Don't do that. So let's do 5. There we go. Okay, we'll make this, keep it at 18 frames. And maybe for soft focus, we'll go like a slightly softer version of this blue. Something like that. And then for our last one here, this is going to be best. And we can tag this keeper, best version, best take. Use this. Again, whatever you want to put in the description, that's entirely up to you. All stuff that becomes searchable. Let's make this 23 frames. And for color, let's go with kind of an earthy creamsicle color. All right. Here, maybe soft focus. That's not quite different enough. It's not bad with it. Here, let's do like a cyan or something. It's better. Okay. Just more obvious. All right. So now we've done that. We've adjusted our duration, shortcut description, tag names and colors and dimensions. Click OK. And now we've got our tag panel. So how does this work? Well, again, as we play through our clip now, let's go and zoom out entirely. All right. So first of all, we've got 2 bits in here that I want to use. So right away, I may tag this as good. Okay. And I can add my good tag like you see there. All right. Now, knowing immediately that this is going to need stabilization because it's handheld, let's give it a stabilize tag. Now, again, I can move that. I can also place this, if I were to place this in the section where we already have subclips, maybe I add it there. The reason I'm showing you that is because, again, the subclip is probably what we're going to edit from, right? So in this case, I probably don't even need that one. Let's just cut that out of there. And this good one, we can just extend beyond everything, okay? Here, we've got my stabilize. Let's do the same thing in this section here. So you don't even have to play it all back. You can just mark it up as you go, all right? And the rest for this one, I think we're good. But this is also showing you how you can have multiple tags stacked up simultaneously, all right? Let's go to another clip. All right, let's go to this one. So right away, this is a best. Okay, I love this. And notice when I add that, now you can see that full description in there. Keeper, best version, best take, use this. I'll also tag this as good because it is also good. And it does not need stabilization. Okay, and you can see how all of those tags come in stacked on top of one another. All right, let's go back here. Let's go to this one. Okay, we love this shot. This also gets a best, okay, because I love this. Love the way this looks, all right. No stabilize required. Come over here again. No stabilize required. And if we wanted to add good to that, we can. We've already got the best tag in there, so I'm not super concerned about adding that. Let's go to this one over here. And same thing. Maybe we'll give this a good tag. And let's see. Yep, stabilize. So this is going to need some stabilization as well. And that's good. And then maybe just for the heck of it. Yeah, so this one, this is just like a mess. This is a hot mess. So it needs, let's just reject this. And this is where I might just extend this. Ditch this clip. All right. It also needs stabilization, but that doesn't matter because we're ultimately not going to use this anyway, but you get the idea. Sometimes you just mark these things up in general, all right? So there's a rejected clip, and yeah, let's do one more. Okay, so this needs stabilization, but also let's just reject it. I don't like this. Okay, wasn't a good choice. All right. So now we've just tagged and marked up all of this content. All right. And as I showed you moments ago, it's super cool to have multiple stacked tags. Okay. So now that we've done that, let's go ahead and assemble this into a rough cut that we can send over to Premiere. Okay. So I'm going to take all of these subclips. Once again, want to point out that I'm currently viewing subclips only. Oh, you can't see the tag. Hold on. Let me move this up. Subclips only. See it right there? Subclip only. Okay. So I'm going to choose a couple of these clips. I'm even going to choose one of those bad ones right there. All right. I don't know if we looked at this one or not. Why not? We'll just add it. I think it's got some stuff in there. And let's go ahead and create a new rough cut. All right, and we'll call this Galaxian RC Selects. Okay. Oh, and I forgot to drag those in. That's fine. Let's just take all of this stuff here. Let's drag it down like that. All right. And as you can see here inside of the timeline, you can see all of those stacked comments, all of the stacked tags, okay? And if we were to go to the markers panel here and select the clip, it'll show you all the detail for each of those markers, all right? And again, once you're in your rough cut mode here, you'll notice as I adjust the edges here, this becomes a ripple delete, similar functions. Again, this is just for really quickly cutting stuff together roughly. We can pick up and move things around and insert them really easily. All right, we can drag additional content in here. If we wanted to place it in advance of something, we can do that, as you can see down below as I'm moving the content around here. Really easy, really elegant to just quickly pull together a rough cut of selects, okay? Now that we've done that, now I actually want to see what this is going to look like in Premiere and maybe start dragging this into my larger story timeline of selects, leveraging the Pancake timeline that I was talking about. So let's go ahead and go to our Galaxian RC Selects rough cut. And from here, you can see that we have this option to send to Premiere Pro. All right. So if we do that, it non-destructively sends it over to Premiere. So now you also saw that it dragged over that content. These are actually aliases as well, so it's super fast. Let's go into our list mode and find the timeline, which is this one here, Galaxian selects, which I'm going to take and place right here. Okay. Now, what's super cool about this is what we call pancaking. This is a pancake timeline. So at the top here, we have all of our various selects. Now, this is also fairly squeezed and compressed because I'm in 1080p here for the stream, so it might be a little difficult to see. But the idea, of course, that you can, of course, zoom into this. So right now we're looking at our source, and hold on, let me just mute all of this because pull all this down. We don't need any audio on any of this stuff. All right. We can see all of our clips. We can see all of our tags. And more importantly, if we go into the markers panel, and I have it docked behind me, but you can still see it, you can kind of see what that looks like, okay? So for each clip, we can see the name, good, stabilize, stabilize, need warp stabilizer applied. So once again, if I were looking for sections in this clip that required stabilization, I can just type in the first couple of letters here, and it's going to find those sections. Similarly here, if I wanted to look for the clips that required or that were tagged as needing stabilization, right? I just typed in stabby, S-T-A-B-I, and now it's telling me that all of these clips here required stabilization. If I were searching on best, okay, I only marked 2 of these clips with a best. Or if I were going into, I think I added one, yeah, this one, right, of the blurry, super handheld, super shaky 420. This was a reject. So I know I don't want this clip, all right? So really, this is, and I see Samantha G just commented that it needs to be better organized. This is all about organization, right? If you're only working with one clip, you still will probably have multiple subclips. You know, some people just shoot one long thing and then cut it up. This is the easiest way to begin marking it up and then working with it inside of Premiere. Now, once you've done that, again, this is where you can start to review your selects. And as we do that, you know, maybe we'll start with, yeah, maybe we like this clip here. Again, this resolution is making it's a little more challenging for me, but you still get the idea. So now that this is my best take right here, I'm going to take this and I'm going to drag, whoops, not my opacity handle there. I'm going to take this clip and I'm going to drag it down into my program monitor timeline, right? So this is all coming from source here. All right. These are my source selects. This is the main timeline. This one's called Galaxian, okay? So this is like my editorial. This is my story. Maybe we'll cut from that, cut over to this, okay? Just drag them down into here like that. Give me an idea about how I want the story to be. Okay, let's drag over. That was a very long subclip, but that's okay. That's the bit that I chose. Here, maybe we'll segue to this one. All right, I'm going to snap these over. Oh, I can turn snapping on, by the way. Don't know how that got disabled. Snap these over. All right. Go into this. Drag this one down here. And lastly, oh, I see. I just made an opacity shift on that. How many of you do that? Constantly grab this and do that. Oh. I don't love that UI element. Yes, you can disable those things, can't you? You can. I can have it so it doesn't show me that. But I do that all the time. It really bothers me. Darn being human. All right. Shrink that up. All right, and then maybe we'll end it with the rack out. Which is this one here. Okay? So real quickly, now from those selects, coming from Prelude, here's our little rough cut that we just put together, all right, with all the best things, all marked up, all tagged up, easy to search on, easy to find. You know, we've already got tags in there like what needs stabilization, you know, what needs color correction. So this is another area where if we were like, say, you know, looking for the clips that need stabilization, okay, this one does. You know, this is something where I can go right to this clip and I can drop the stabilizer on there. Just little things like that to make the job easier. You've already reviewed it. You've already typed in what it needs to know, or maybe you're using those tags, right? So much easier than having to remember after the fact, what do I need to do with this, right? By the way, something to remember, if you're going to be doing this Pancake timeline style of selects into your main timeline, you want to make sure that this button here, the Insert Overwrite Sequences as nests or individual clips toggle, is off. Okay, if you have this on, it will not work as you just saw it moments ago. So you want to make sure that this is disabled or gray if you want to leverage this pancaking concept here. All right, very cool. Okay, and that's pretty much it. So easy, right? So we started on Monday with batch ingest in Prelude, right? With batch ingest, we have options for transferring content, so taking it off of your media card, right? You shot it on your GoPro, you shot it with the DSLR or mirrorless. You want to take it off those media cards and stick it onto a drive, preferably an SSD. You can do that here. You can transfer it. Also in the process, you can transcode it. So maybe you want to take those H.264s and instead put them into something like ProRes 422HQ. Oh, excuse me. Or DNxHR, or whatever your flavor is. You can do that. You can have multiple destinations with multiple transcodes if you desire. Then you have your custom file metadata, which again, if we come over here, scroll this down, you can see here, let's pick one of our other presets that had a bit more. Yeah, so here's our one for the Finland shop. Okay, so we had 4 basic fields. All of these, Finland, workshop, fluorescent, 2014. That all becomes metadata that's searchable, right? So if we go back to Premiere for just a second, I'm thinking, oh, what were those shots that had the fluorescent lighting? These here, okay? So that's telling me, again, like I don't have to think about it. Oh, okay, all of those needed color correction, or I know specifically what preset I want to use to treat, you know, instead of naturally lit or incandescent, fluorescent light clips. It's just adding metadata that's useful. You know, there's so many hundreds of fields in our XMP schema, most of which you'll probably never use or have any desire to use, but this stuff just makes sense. It just makes it easier to find. So custom metadata here, we created these as presets. And then lastly, custom renaming, okay? Which again, I've created a preset here, which adds the file name and then DSLR, because this was all shot with a DSLR, and then the ingest time. But you can add any number of different things. You can have it auto increment, you can add shot date, you can have just custom text all together as part of that batch rename, all done directly in Prelude. Again, then you come in here, you can use subclip and comment markers. Let's pull this back up again. So your subclip and comment markers here. Subclipping is wonderful inside of Prelude because that's then going to allow you, again, to separate those subclip sections to more easily allow you to build up your rough cut, all right? So you're making your selects here as opposed to doing it, again, inside the ingest window, which you can also do, but you don't have to. Maybe you want to spend more time reviewing it and doing those other things here. That's exactly where this shines and exactly what this is for, okay? Super cool, all right? And then, of course, we showed you the tag panel, which is wonderful. So you've got your tag panel. This allows you to, again, pull up your content. You can customize the different tags that you add. You can add shortcut keys, and as you're reviewing it, you can simply click on these buttons. You can even do this with an external controller, or again, just use keyboard shortcuts to just quickly mark up that content to add searchable tags in Premiere, searchable in Prelude as well. And then once you've done that, you've built your rough cut, it's as simple as choosing right-click, control-click, create rough cut, or excuse me, send to Premiere Pro, We already built the rough cut. Send to Premiere Pro, which it does instantaneously. And again, then you can set up your Pancake timeline if you so desire, where you have your selects, your subclips with all of your tags and markers up here, as well as your clean production timeline down here, or your final timeline, your story timeline, where you're dragging content from the selects into your program monitor timeline. All right, really simple, really easy. So that is a really cool workflow with batch ingest and custom metadata and tagging via Prelude CC. So let's just switch back here for just a second and see if we've got any questions in the chat. And if not, I will send you on your way. All right. Pierre Julien, nice to see you. Tackle Boys, what's up, Gus? How are you doing, man? HD Editor from Europe, great to see you. How are you doing, Reef Patrol? All right. Samantha, hope you found this useful. Cool. All right, let's go over to FB. Everything is crazy delayed. Sarah Smile, all right. All right. Pedro from Portugal, hello. Okay. Taria, how are you? Very nice to see you. 2014. Remember that content? That's right. Still some of my faves. Also, that's some of the only content of mine that's sold on Adobe stock. Seems like ages ago. Okay. Well, it looks like that's all the questions we have. Hold on, bouncing back over. Got Ron Sussman. What's up, Ron? Wilco Pro, Kenny. All right, Ven. All right, no more questions. There may be more in Facebook, but it's frozen, and I can't see them. Greg Beecher, very useful. Very glad to hear that. Okay, awesome. All right. Well, then until next time, my friends, have a great morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. Again, you'll be able to watch the replays wherever you decide, Twitter Periscope, Facebook, or YouTube. I'll be back tomorrow with an audio stream on the Creative Cloud channel, probably around 12 noon, 1 p.m. Pacific time. So stick around for that. Until then, have a great time. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.